Okay, here you are. Take a deep breath. Now let's just go straight to the point, which is my approach. Y'all know this by now. I like to be direct. This video is about how and why do I hold academia, so-called academia, responsible for the current volatile situation on the planet, in the country America for now. Why am I singling out academia at this point? I used to be a professor myself, and I've been there, and I have generally had love for academia. But what I've noticed in the past, maybe a few years, 100 years, maybe who knows if you study back, is the vacation, not like a nice kind, the refusal to teach people what education really is about. People these days think education is about memory, for example, or fact checking things. That's not education. That's a machine. A machine can do that. Ordinary machine, they do that best. I'm not against that knowledge, but for me, it's like we have a machine for that. Why waste your intellect? So for me, it's like no, don't bother. Develop your intelligence, critical thinking instead. Memory, not even a need. Worse than memory is the machine. This is why there's a big difference in being a machine and a memorable person. People that have good memory, what is it to be a machine? See, to be an automaton is what universities have turned people into. They become programming centers. Let me say that again. Even to the PhD level, it's not about knowledge anymore. I've been with these people. A lot of them are not intellectuals. Otherwise, a natural intellectual, I'm not saying I'm one, but a natural intellectual is one who's curious about truth. You just have an instinct for it. Those who join academia for money, for career, for prestige, they're not bad people. But they don't have the gut instincts of the true intellectuals. And what I've seen is there's a lot of them there, and they're destroying academia. They are destroying academia. How are they destroying it? So when he or she, any human doesn't care about truth, and they happen to be in a position of power where knowledge is to be disseminated, they won't do it. All they do, they will simplify everything, but they don't know how to do science. They don't know how to think critically themselves. How can you teach what you don't know? So they end up dumbing things down. What they began to do was they began to find a way to intellectualize emotions. Everything became an issue, a problem. As opposed to addressing human emotional issues, the depression, what's causing it, they label it. It is nothing but a dumbing down of the masses. Oh, this is it. This is what it is. Just gotta take this pill for it. These people are partly responsible for the sake of humanity, for the fate of humanity today. This class, these people who believe that life is about just getting a paycheck ending of the week, as opposed to saying that, oh, now the joy of truth, to find truth. It doesn't mean I or you have the truth, but the exploration is the joy of a true intellectual. And originally they are the ones that were meant to be the teachers, but now that you have people that otherwise belong in the business class, not to put that down, there's a room for business people. I love business people. I do business myself, but businessmen or somebody who's an artisan, they are not intellectuals generally. Nothing wrong with it. What they're more concerned about is the accounting, the balancing of things, the simple mathematical things, the basic mathematical things. A thinker is somebody who can detach more and begin to follow the law of probability. Law of probability is a higher system of thinking, but then you have to look at various factions. What could happen? What couldn't happen? This idea, what people call logic these days, is not logic. It's nothing but brainwashing, programming. That's what it is. It's a programming. You are either this or that. You say one thing about Trump, you're a Trump supporter. Suddenly you're a white supremacist. Say anything good about Biden? Oh, now you are supporting the pedophiles. It's like, it's too extreme. I'm not saying that it's not going on, but not everybody believes this. It's deducting people into the You're reducing that. That's what we call reductionism in philosophy. Reductionism. You're reducing things. Things are more complex. Reductionism is the very opposite of possibility thinking. Reductionism is the very opposite of possibility thinking. Is the very opposite of possibility thinking. So a lot of these people that are saying this, like, oh, all this, like, just give me the facts, give me the facts. No, you can't just give people like, this is it. That's how people get misled. And that's part of what I've noticed. Academia has turned human mind into a field of just reductionism. It's all about reduction, reducing things into black and white. Either this or that. No, life is more complex. And what people call logic now is not logic. It is nothing but brainwashing. It is nothing but programming people into bullshit. Just to call a spade a spade. It's not the truth. A true logician, and I'm not making any claims, so people don't tell me, oh, no way, so arrogant. No, this is truth. I always drop it. Okay, this is not even the truth. It's the perspective. I was telling somebody today that truth is something that transcends all of us. Each soul, each individuality is an aspect of the truth. Some truths are like too superficial, but there's a truth to them. There can be no, from a certain perspective, there can be no lie, because everything we say from a different perspective is a lie, or it's only a perspective. I hope I'm not throwing people off now. I'm talking about advanced logic now, simplified physics, another way to call it astrophysics. This is part of the logic humans are being, we are being told, we are being pulled to be able to master. That it becomes impossible. Somebody who's trained in true logic, you can't trick them, because they can see ahead of what you're doing. They can see it, they can see that you're breaking this law of logic. You're breaking that law of logic. And that's what the system doesn't want. They want the flat earth thinkers. Linear, predictable, predictability. Reductionism is predictable. Women are like this, men are like that. Boom. People that don't fit in, we kill them. That's what the system does. They label them. Those of us, which most of us are in the middle. Almost all humans. And they make that the problem. And they make the extremes what we should all aspire for. This creates misery, because it's breaking the universal law and principle. We are all unique in our individuality, in our truth. My perspective is not better than your perspective, as long as you're speaking from the deeper levels of your soul. We are reflecting different aspects of the universe, and together as one, the infinite souls that we are, we reflect the whole of it. That's why when two perspectives come together, two ways of being come together, you have a higher level of truth, because now you're looking together. That's what understanding it, understanding it. You're not looking from two perspectives. Imagine a million perspectives. Now we can see more into the universal truth. Which, that's why I always say, a really intelligent universe will have, everybody will have their own religion. What is the religion? Another video, I'll make a video about that. What is true religion, and what is true religion, and what is just a belief system. So what people confuse now as religion is just a belief system. Belief systems are archaic. That means you're not thinking. Each one is saying, this is my, it's always unique. No matter how people love each other, there will be disagreements. It's always, it's the individual gift. And beliefs are flat, it's reductionist. This is the way, the truth is really, it's like downgrading the consciousness. Whenever anybody gives you a belief, they're your enemies. If anybody gives you a belief system, that's your enemy. Run. Because the belief system is the biggest destroyer of intelligence. Let's just call a spade a spade. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about that today. I don't want it to be too long. Academia, you can do better. So those of you that are just businessmen, nothing wrong in being a businessman. Go into business. Why not? That's your gift. Okay, those that are engineers, go become an engineer. When I talk about intellectuals, I'm talking about the professional thinkers that whereby truth is the desire. And if that's not your, it's okay. You've made money. Don't quit your job. I'm a practical man. Just start look for careers that are more practical, where you can shine. Otherwise, we are on the verge of blowing up this planet if we're not careful with their stupidity, because we are bringing different ideas that belong in different dimensions to where they don't work. See, some people who are intellectuals and they're also businessmen. That's rare on the planet. Rare. Most of us are either one or the other. Those ones are the ones that can create a business empire. They can also be rich if they want. But they might also be. These people are rare. My father is one of them, to be quiet. I was thinking maybe I shouldn't say that. It's one of them. The man is big. I mean, I'm not boasting. Anybody talks to the man, he's pretty much a genius. He's a genius. He's also a good businessman. But he's a reasonable businessman. Imagine we have more reasonable businessmen. Men who actually do what's right for the community. What's good for everybody, not just the greed, the me, the ego, the entity, the invading entity, the self. Me, myself, and I, the selfishness. That's how we destroy this planet. And we've taught our children that this is logic. It's not. Let's do better. This is just survival. To reduce anything is to reduce, literally reductionism in philosophy is to reduce people into survival. And wasn't an animal like machine, just basic needs. No, we're more complex. And academia, I see you're responsible for it. There's room for everybody. Whatever your genius is, go do your thing. There are many archetypes. You have the king, the warrior, the nurturer, the philosopher, the mystic. Find your genius. But if you are not dedicated to finding truth, intellectual truth, discovery, scientific discovery, then please don't do that. Okay? I know a lot of us love the doctors, but oftentimes I've said it and I'll say it to any logician. Doctors are often not intellectuals. I've been around a lot of them. Not to say they're stupid, they're smart. But there's a difference between being an intellectual and a smart person. I've seen many doctors make errors in politics and intellectuality. They have good memory. That's not intelligence. That is just basic and nothing wrong in it. You just have to know the difference. Memory is good, we need it, but it's not necessarily intelligence. It's always from the past. That's why they're not often creative. There's no need for creativity all the time. To keep doing the same thing sometimes is required. You need the doctor to be consistent, so they reduce everything. There's room for reductionism, but it's an engineer's mind. It's the flat earther, making everything material, material, material. Whereas a real organic human is doubter. Everything you're told, you doubt it. That is the growth of intelligence. Doubt is the root of every intelligence person. You have to start doubting. Otherwise, doubt everything your parents tell you. I've done it my whole life. Not because I don't love them, but if you don't doubt, you can't grow your intelligence. You may end up agreeing with a lot of what they say, but you're going to have your own experience. That's how many humans get stuck in their psychological development. They don't really agree with mommy and dad. They don't agree with what the parents and elders say, but they believed it. No. Take everything, take it apart. And if somehow it is truth, yes, say, you know what, you're right. But until you've done it in your own life, until you've experienced it in your own life, you can't claim that you know it. It's just borrowed. And that's how people become machines. No, make your own mistake, make your own error. That's how we grow in intelligence. Doubt, doubt, doubt. Just don't get stuck in doubting. That's called nihilism. Everything is doubted. That becomes another trap. No, use the doubt as a way to explore truth. When the evidence hits you in the eye, don't deny it just because you're ego. I don't believe anything. Now you take it to the extreme. No, if the evidence, if it's concrete, then what else? Why deny it? Just say, okay, I see. There's truth in this. Okay. I may not understand it, but I can see the truth. Checkmate, that's it. Okay, so academia, please, I'm begging us. Let's do our homework. Those of us that are interested in truth, let us be in charge of the athletic, in the intellectual realm. Not because we're special, but that is the interest. Okay, so that's how. There are those that can do both. I'm just talking generally. Some people are just, no, their interest is just books. They want to understand. They're the scientists. They care less about paying some money. They're the scientific types. They may get rich, but often by accident. because what they discover in the truth becomes marketable. They're like, oh my goodness, they may become a billionaire. But you see the way they live their life for a millionaire. Somehow they share their money because they're generous. Because they're like, oh, this came to me as a gift. I have money, now let me share. It is the ones that are not scientific that get rid. The ones that are like, oh, I can share. Huh. But that's lack mentality. And what we need are humans who are really critical thinkers more and more. And that's the work of academia. But some people are born like that, but they have to be trained. You have to assist them. That's what education is. Bring out their critical thinking. And then you can set them free. Because a man or woman who has critical thinking cannot do too much evil. To some extent they can, but it's limited because they figure out, they see that it's not going to work faster. But when they're not critical thinking, they could do the same thing for millions of years and never figure out that shit's not going to work. Okay, so at this time and present in the human history, please, I'm begging us all, let's do our best to train our youth so that they can develop critical thinking, and then they can be rich, they can be wealthy, they can go to the moon, but somehow the logic will assist them in knowing when enough is enough, not winner takes it all. That is what creates evil. One has to know when to negotiate.